can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can't whisper behind my back. You can't show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now.
Hey everybody, welcome back at our job site for Villa Splendida here in Playa Bonita. Well, we've been adding some more concrete, more beams, another piece of slab in front of the bedrooms. Just you know, same old, concrete here, concrete there. But this time we are slowly coming into a next phase that is where we get subcontractors coming in for all kinds of stuff. Be it, for instance, last week we had the guy for putting up a canna roof on top of these bedrooms, because I thought it's best to first put on the roof and then do the plaster work, so that you can have a nice finish. Where you got the nice wooden works from the canna roof, you can just get your plaster work nicely around it. Otherwise, the other way around, people might chip off your plaster work putting on the canna roof. So better do that first, and also then you get some shade for doing your plaster. Now, for instance, in talking with the guy for the canna roof, I asked him, well, how are you gonna fix your roof onto my roof? And he said, well, we just we'll chisel out a piece of concrete where we put our wooden column, and then we'll slam some rebar in it, and then we'll fill it back up. But I said, no, that's a no-go. So I'm gonna make sure that he does his fixtures in the way I would like to. Yeah, and my client, of course, because these little things can cause a lot of problems afterwards, because there's just people working beside each other and not together. So I'm responsible for the way this roof is being fixed onto my work, and that's the way it should be with everything. We also have the stair guys in. Every subcontractor needs to be handled to make sure you get the result that you want. So we, for instance, take great care and precision in how we form and pour our concrete. Now, you cannot just start making holes in that. You will just be causing problems. You would even get leakages, or all kind of problems can arise from that. You need to do that in coordinates with the whole thing.
You're referring to the canna roof?
Yeah. So the canna roof. Yeah. If you fix a canna roof on a concrete roof like this, you got to do it the right way. It's really important, because people will just do, you can't imagine. Another thing I would like to show you is, for instance, this wall. If we would like to hang or mount an air conditioning to this wall, we need to drill the appropriate hole for it to fix it. Now, what common practice is over here is the air conditioning guy would come in with a hammer and a chisel, and he would just start hammering down on your wall and to be able to fix his run his hoses. But we like to invest in in proper tools so that we can make a good hole. That's, for instance, why I got this set. I'd like to show you. Now with this set I can drill holes in various sizes without really damaging your wall. Hold on, let me just mount it. So let's see how this baby works.
Very
Now
good.
you see, that's how you make a hole. Not with a chisel, with one of these. So in every house you have, especially around windows and doors, you got concrete lintels. This is, for instance, a lintel. It basically connects these two walls, and so you got an upper part above your door. In this case, there's going to be on top of this lintel, it's going to be decorated with some form of wood, so you don't get too much of concrete look into your bedroom. But anyhow, the way we make these, instead of hammering and chiseling on your block using nails, we don't do any of that. We use these clamps. So we just take two pieces of plywood, put our clamp like so, only then obviously from the top down, put our clamp. Now I can adjust them with one movement exactly to the width I want it to be. Now we just add like 4 or 5 more of these clamps. And then you're done, ready for pouring, and that's how we make our lintels, to make them come out beautiful like this.
So it helps make them nice and straight.
Yeah, and also in a really fast way.
So it's similar to these supports
Yes,
that you use to hold up, because it lets you.
it lets you adjust the final bit with this. So I can just, the final bit, I can just go,
Right.
this is where I want it to be.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my client for this house asked me to do some exploring about what would it take to make everything beautiful in coralstone. And I'd like to know myself as well. So I went to the coralstone mine in Santo Domingo. I got a couple of these samples. These are polished in the factory in San Domingo, because you also get them polished that people do it by hand with the hand grinder. These come out of the factory like this, also filled. You see the other side, this is the natural product. It is natural coral stone, comes like this. It's filled with holes, but to make a beautiful floor, you would need to fill it. Now it's important that you do that the right way. So at the factory, they obviously know this is filled at the factory. So yeah, I would always suggest to use factory materials instead of people trying to fill it in themselves.
Is there anybody who wouldn't want to fill in their floor?
Well, you get decorative pieces, but they're mostly on walls or in or like little accents beside the doorway. You see, then you get the holes like this, and actually some people really like it.
Yeah, it
like
looks
this,
cute. But for walking, you suggest you fill it in.
Yeah, because this would all just fill up with dirt and it's really difficult to clean. So you would want a smooth surface.
So these are going to be their flooring.
Well, we're still, I think so, but it's not 100% yet. So in order to come to a way to know what is the best way to put it down on the floor, I made different samples. I made 6 samples with different kind of additives, with lime through the mixture, without lime, only cement, a dirty floor. I mean, because that also happens that, you know, it's just put down on a dirty floor, then it will just, it won't adhere. Now these 3 samples were with a primer between the mortar and the concrete floor, the last 3. These 2 don't have any primer, so, but they do have lime in it, and you see it adheres pretty good, even like this, even without primer. But here you see, so you don't want that. Now these 3 do have primer. This is just way stronger, for a stronger way to adhere to the concrete. And you see, like this, you don't need like 3 or 4 inches of mortar, what you also see a lot over here. You can only use one like this, like 1.5 inches, more than enough. You got the right mixture. So well, we determined what is the best mixture to use, so go from there.
Have you determined which is the best one that you're going to use?
Yeah.
Which one?
It's this one.
So tell us, refresh us, what's that? What's so special about that?
This has got a primer between the concrete and the mortar. The mortar itself consists of a mixture of cement and lime. And before I put the tile, the coral stone, onto the mortar, I put a really thin film of thinset onto the coral stone for better adhere. So this is what our beams look like when they just come out of the packaging. We just removed the formwork since yesterday, and it turned out really nice, as you can see. Now, a thing I would like to emphasize with building formwork is to make it rigid, like no movement in your formwork whatsoever. You see, when concrete starts curing, it's a chemical process between the water and the cement, and during the first couple hours it will set. Now it's a microscopic thing going on. Now if during that first couple hours you have even the slightest movement, so there could even be like if I'm pouring over here and that one is already poured, but because people are walking on it or you get movement, it will interfere with the chemical reaction of the concrete. So you would need to make sure that that doesn't bother you, that it's rigid as it is. So make it strong, no movement in your formwork. Then you get really strong beams. Like over here. Now the way we differentiate ourselves from common practice for most builders, when we construct a villa, we make the concrete structure be able to cope with all the loads. So all the forces of all your floors are going to be diverted through the beams, to the columns, to the footings that we made in the ground. There is no load-bearing walls in this construction. Now you don't typically see that, but we do, because that's the way you get a really good structure that be able to cope with also, you know, slight earth movements or you name it. It's just a better way of constructing. Takes a little bit more effort, a little bit more time, but you see how beautiful it comes out. So next episode we will be pouring the last section of the roof of this concrete structure. That will conclude the concrete works on this house. Then we'll go over finishing everything up and building the pool, the jacuzzi, the outside bar, and finishing it all up. So
Can't stop me now.